So what I want to do is I want to hit the go button, and when I hit the go button, I get this safety start message appears that says the sliotar will start now. Do you want to proceed? So the operator has to do a double move or a double step to actually initiate that command. So we say yes, and what happens now is our very, very small sliotar rewinder starts running, okay? But it starts running by default in our slow speed setting, which is a predefined setting, which is typically between 40 and 60 feet per minute. And that speed is used for two reasons. First reason is we want to start off in a controlled manner every time we start the sliotar rewinder, but also if we had yellow or re-inspect or questionable zones, we would slow down the sliotar rewinder to that 50 feet per minute, where the roll would not be stopped but would be allowed to jog through, and the operator can visually inspect and make his determination as to whether or not he should remove that material. So we are making some progress. You see we're already up around 450 feet into the roll, but we need to get up to around 3,000 feet. And one of the advantages of having the waste management system and having the roll map is that you know you've got nothing to worry about in the first 3,000 feet of material. So you can run the sliotar rewinder at full tilt. You want to get your efficiency and your capacity as high as possible. So what we want to do is we want to flip over to full speed, and you'll see that our sliotar rewinder is now running at full speed, or whatever speed the operator is comfortable with above that jog speed that we had enforced at the beginning. So again, you'll see here we're up over 1,000 feet. Our little position indicator is moving towards the beginning of this defective area. Now, what will happen when we get there is that the waste management system will send a stop signal to the sliotar rewinder, and the sliotar rewinder will slow down and stop in advance of the defective zone. And that's all done through a ramp profile or a setting that's in the system that we can give a signal for whatever speed the sliotar rewinder is running at, knowing that we will be able to successfully slow that down and stop at the right location. So zooming in on this area here, you can see that we're actually making good progress towards the beginning of the red zone. You'll see that we're just about hitting the 3,000 feet mark, and what will happen here is we will slow down and we will stop. And again, this is pretty much instantaneous because this little flywheel has very little inertia and will stop pretty quickly, okay? If this was a production system, it's quite typical for a sliotar rewinder to take 100, 150 meters to stop. So that signal will be given in advance so that it will slow down and stop at the correct location. So what we've seen here is that we have actually stopped a little bit in advance of the beginning of the defective zone. And again, that is configurable depending on the layout of your machine, because you may want to stop the defective zone at a splicing table or at the unwind roll, depending on how the operator needs to deal physically with the material. You also have this event log, and for this roll it was pretty straightforward. We just had one defective section we needed to stop for. So what we did is we started the roll at position 0, time, and the event is stated as system started. The next event that happened was the system was slowed down automatically because of the approach of a bad material area, which is this red area. So that time is stamped, the position is stamped, and the reason, okay? And the final event, at least so far on this production roll, is that we actually stopped at position 3014 feet into the roll, and that is because we reached a position where it put the beginning of the defective material at the appropriate location on the waste management system and sliotar rewinder so that the operator could remove the waste material and finish this production roll. First advantage on the waste management system is that you're able to run at full speed. Your sliotar efficiencies will improve because you can run with the confidence of knowing you are not going to miss a defective material that you needed to cut out. You're no longer running blind. You have all of the information about where the defects are, you've digital cues, and you've automated signaling that will guarantee that even if an operator isn't here, the system will stop and will not pass by a questionable or defective section. What that gives you is complete control over the level of quality of the material you want to ship to your customers. It allows you to make strategic commercial decisions about what level of waste or defective material is acceptable to ship to your customers. It gives you the ability to be in complete control of the commercial decision. Another key point is that with the closed loop system, you are reducing your waste. You're detecting it earlier so the printer on the press can take corrective action quickly. The waste that is in the system, you're able to determine, is it really waste? Some defects will be acceptable to the customer. Through Data Central, you're able to analyze the defects and make decisions about whether or not this particular customer for this particular product is acceptable. If it's acceptable, that's more material you've saved. It's more material you're confident that you can ship to the customer without there being any questions as to the quality of the material and any rework or rebates that might be required because of that. As every printer knows, quality problems occur, defects occur. There will be some amount of material that you produce that will end up in the bin. What this system allows you to do is make sure that if you need to remove 3% of waste and that you can't afford to remove 4%, that you will remove the worst 3%. So that in any situation, even though you are removing material, the material you are shipping to the customer is the best material you can ship. It also provides you a tool to go out into the market and to actually generate more business by proving to customers that you don't have now that you can provide a level of quality that other printers cannot.